Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your buddy 14th Prime, and today we're going to have another discussion. Now, it's been about a good 6 or 7 months since my last video about this right here. One of the main things, one of the first things that really captured me as a child in my collection. You know what I mean? Like when I first saw the Devastator commercial, lost my mind. Well, I mean, I knew from the show, hopefully, that it was going to happen, back then. But combiners and the good, the bad, and the ugliness of it all. Let's just have a discussion. I just want to go over some of the things that I love, some of the things I don't, some of the things that they could have improved on. Now, we all know Devastator is almost finished for a lot of people. I saw Hook and Long Haul yesterday at Target. And there were still a few on the shelf. So it's not like they're flying off the shelves or nobody's like scalping them quite yet. Now, a year from now, probably something different. But it took me back to thinking, when the original Devastator had came out, it did have plenty of other little, you needed that main centerpiece to connect Devastator all together. And the way that they hid it was you could just snap them onto the vehicles. Now, 40 years later, we're getting... Now, and a lot of people don't like Menasor, or didn't like Menasor, or they weren't a fan, mostly because they couldn't find this guy right here. But a lot of people complained that they were like, of all these years, they should have been able to figure out how to engineer the trailer into Motormaster. And I don't think that was... I think they did this perfectly. I think this was a perfect iteration and a perfect Menasor to me. I love the fact when I saw this and the arms broke in half, that was like a main selling point to me, because I had the Combiner Wars one, we all did, and even the old one, the head just folded forward and you just push the head into the connector. But to actually have like an elbow, given to you, and you have one piece left over from this, and it's supposed to be the turret. Hold on. Yeah, you have this. This is what's left over, which turns into a little turret. Cool. I'm not too bad, but that's the ugly part of it. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say they could have engineered the entire trailer into this guy, like into, all this, but could you have not figured out how to fold this into this? But again, I'm not complaining. Absolutely love him. And then, like with Superion. Oh, and by the way, no, I do not have all 5. This is 3 of them and 2 Combiner Wars of the 2 I don't have. And they are, who do I not have? Fireflight and Skydive. Yeah, Fireflight and Skydive. The 2 that's supposed to come out in November, but they'll actually be out in September. Or if you go to Walmart, they'll be on the shelf early. Whatever. But yeah, that's what you see here. That's why he's not put together in his total form. But then you look at third party. This beautiful 24 inches of pure greatness. I love this thing. He might be, out of all of my combiners, Demon Knight, aka Defensor, might be one of my favorite ones. But again, he comes with these great big feet. He actually has 2 of these guns. One's just back there. And then you have all of this. But there's a whole bunch of ways to put that stuff, all that extra kibble together to form a base mode. Now, it's not the coolest looking base. It's okay if you can figure it out, because they don't send you the instructions with it. But the way it was done, it's simple. It's the just oversized Combiner War pieces, and then these added on parts, but like articulated fingers and knuckles and all that stuff. Love that guy. Now, then we got, I know, like I was just saying, I saw Devastator the other day. I said I wasn't going to get it. I said I wasn't going to get Superion. But this is why I still try to stay on the fence. Now, that new Bruticus, because the one that I have here, let's get you in closer. The Bruticus that I do have, let's move this guy out of the way. He's beautiful. He's wonderful. He's big. He's scary looking. He's everything I wanted in an oversized combiner. But it's stylized. It's super stylized. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying as far as like cartoon accuracy, which I kind of don't care about. I buy what I want. But like in his Bruticus mode, he's great. The vehicles are great, with the exception of the fact that Swindle is a Humvee and not a Jeep. But even then, I painted the hood purple, so I'm happy with it. Now, then you move over to this Devastator. And again, I've talked about this Devastator so many times. A bunch of y'all have actually said that you went and bought it because you saw the one that I had or whatever. And I do. I love this one. A lot of people have had issues with theirs. They say he doesn't stand. The thing is with that Devastator, there's a gun that goes right in the crotch. If you don't have that gun centered and then you push it up, that keeps the legs together and gives him the stability. I've animated this thing. I've played with it. I totally love it, to be honest with you. I need to paint the treads purple on him. But other than that, and shout out to, man, TNT Neon Prime, because that was who I saw had the very first one. And shout out to Transformers 4777 Green Eye Lycan. I saw he had one. But those two gentlemen were the reasons that I was like, yeah, I've got to get this. And now again, those are stylized. But I always wanted my Devastator to be that height in comparison to Optimus. So to me, that was perfect. Now, granted, the new Devastator and all of them are coming out. That's the height difference. On the cartoon, and I literally watched, as you saw, I did stop motion this morning for Search for Alpha Trion Part 2. If you didn't see that, go check it out. It's a longer short, but it's stop motion of when the aerial bots got their personalities. But in those, like, there's a part where Optimus is working on Silverbolt, and he's core class size. And I was going to use my core class Optimus for that part, but I just opted to not do the beginning where they're working on the planes when they find them. But in that cartoon, I know size was all over the place in the original cartoon and on the Sunbow charts. This Optimus, the 86 version, this is 86, is supposed to be that's supposed to be scale. It depends on what episode you're watching. It really does, because in a lot of those episodes, like, okay, for instance, in the Search for Alpha Trion, Optimus and Ironhide and all of them jump on the back of Silverbolt to ride back to Earth. And then Omega Supreme comes and blah, 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 blah. So again, core class would have worked perfect with the vehicle mode, but that's mass shifting. Now, here's my problem with Superion. These guys look great, of the 3 out of the 5 that I do have. And the Commodore Wars guys look good as stand-ins, until you get them. But what am I supposed to do with this? Even in plane mode, hooking this to the back, because there's these little clips right here. You take these little clips and you put that on the back of Silverbolt, and then you have super, super duper Concorde jet. It's cool looking. It is. It's cool looking. But when I got them in robot mode, what am I supposed to do with this? I know it turns into some kind of little... I have not done it, and I refuse to do it. I did it with Menasor only because I used that turret for a stop motion. But to turn this into some kind of turret for them to stand it, no. So then I just have another piece of toy that has to go. It's different if it was like Optimus's trailer. You know what I mean? Like, you can leave his trailer out. And yes, that's the little ball that I used for Vector Sigma. But then you see up here, that's where things go to die. Those are trailers from Scourge and Old Primes and Earthrise Prime and Earthrise Nemesis and other. Rodimus's trailer is up there. Who else's trailer? Oh, my old hotspot. But yeah, like, it's crazy because it's just one more piece that's going to go far away from the rest of the toys. So in closing, I love what y'all are doing, Hasbro. I love the combiners. I love, you know, the scale of things. I do love how Superion turned out. He is very poseable. Not that well on the carpet. I tried to do a stop motion last night on the carpet, and he just can't stand on it well. But on a flat surface, great. But until, I mean, like, and if I said this millions of times before, if I had known that there was a Menasor that was this size, I would have got it. But then once I saw it, it looks horrible. It looks absolutely horrible. So I'm happy with this because they're sports cars. Sports cars should be about this size. Construction vehicles should be big. So I love that. Now, a space shuttle and should be a bit bigger than Optimus or whatever, but you know, but again, with the oversized, a tank should be bigger than a sports car. The helicopter should be bigger than a sports car. So to me, that scale works. Having them all scale, now you're losing that real world depth perception, because in the real world, a helicopter is not the same size as my vehicle, or the same length for that matter. You know what I mean? But hey, I like it. Either way, I like it, but I do love these guys. Plus, his eyes light up. His eyes light up. That's fire. But yeah. So anyway, it's your buddy, the 14th Prime. Leave me some comments. Tell me who your favorite combiner is. Who do you plan on getting? Do you plan on picking up the new Bruticus? And again, I like how Vortex looks. I want to see what Onslaught looks like, not just on paper or CAD design. Oh man, I forgot to put Abominus in here. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Maybe later on I'll do Hunger as my next short for y'all. Either way, it's your buddy, the 14th Prime. I love y'all. Have a great evening.